Pantheon AI presents Wall Street ignoring Fed risk for NVIDIA hype, AMD crushes competition, Meta AI milestone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PAI Morning Briefing. It's John, here with Sarah, and today is August 26, 2025. Hope you're all ready to dive in.
Absolutely, John. Good morning, everyone. Let's get everyone up to speed with a quick look at where the markets are sitting right now. So, starting with the S&P 500. It's trading around 64.46, up just a tiny bit, about 0.17%.
Right, and the Dow is following a similar pattern, hovering near 45,289, also with a very slight gain of about 0.11%. Pretty quiet starts for the big guys.
It seems so. The Nasdaq, though, is showing a little more life. It's up to about 21,509, which is a slightly better gain of 0.3%. But the real mover seems to be the Russell 2000.
Yeah, the Russell is definitely having a more exciting morning. It's trading at 2,355, up almost 0.7%. A bit more of that small cap volatility we expect to see.
Definitely. And speaking of volatility, let's jump over to the crypto space. Bitcoin is actually down a bit, sitting near $109,500, a slide of about 0.5%. But Ethereum, wow, it's having a great session.
A great session is an understatement. It's trading around 45.15, up over 3%. That's a huge move. So we're seeing some really interesting pockets of momentum, even if the broader indices are a bit sleepy.
Exactly. And that sets the stage perfectly for the bigger trends we're seeing. It feels like there's this cautious optimism in the air. Investors are trying to balance the incredible growth in tech with these nagging worries about the bigger economic picture.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's this weird tug of war. I saw a headline that really captured it. Wall Street is more focused on NVIDIA than on threats to Fed independence. That may be a big mistake. It's like everyone is mesmerized by the shiny new tech and maybe ignoring the systemic risks lurking in the background.
It's such an interesting point. I mean, on one hand, you have NVIDIA doing things that feel like science fiction, but on the other, you have this huge, looming question mark over what the Federal Reserve is going to do next. It feels like the market might be in for a surprise if it's not watching both things at once.
Right, and this isn't just about NVIDIA. The whole semiconductor space is heating up. What about the AMD story? That's been everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. The headlines are all about how the competitive battle with NVIDIA is hitting a new dimension. Analysts, like those at Truist, are saying AMD isn't just a price check anymore. They see it as a truly formidable competitor.
And that's a massive shift in sentiment. It suggests investors finally believe AMD can really capture a significant piece of the pie. It's almost like that classic underdog story, where the secondary character suddenly steals the show. It's exciting for the whole industry.
It really is. And then you have another tech giant making waves in a totally different way. Meta. They're calling its growth gravity-defying.
Gravity-defying, I like that. So it's not just about social media anymore?
Not at all. The story is that Meta is brilliantly using artificial intelligence to supercharge its advertising business. They're apparently siphoning off market share from competitors like Google Ads, which could totally reshape the digital ad space.
Wow. So it's a full reinvention. It just goes to show how these giants are playing a constant game of chess, always thinking several moves ahead to stay on top. Fascinating stuff.
Okay, so stepping away from tech for a second, let's look at the Forex market. There's some interesting movement with the US dollar against the Swiss franc.
The USD-CHF pair. What's the story there?
Well, the clues are pointing downwards. It seems the pair tested a key resistance level and failed. Sellers basically jumped in and took control, pushing it lower. It's a great reminder that there's a ton of action happening outside of stocks and crypto.
Good point. And for anyone listening who has international investments or exposure to Swiss companies, these currency swings can have a real impact on their returns. It's all connected. Sometimes I think the best financial analysis is done over a warm cup of coffee, just staring at currency charts.
I can see that. So when we tie all these threads together, what's the big picture?
I think the big picture is this incredible contrast. You have this white-hot innovation in tech, NVIDIA, AMD, Meta, driving so much excitement. But underneath it all is that quiet, persistent hum of anxiety about monetary policy and the broader economy. The big question is the market too mesmerized by the blockbuster tech story to notice the potential plot twist coming from the Fed?
And that plot twist could have ripple effects everywhere. You see this tech influence bleeding into other sectors, right? Like energy, with AI being used to optimize renewable power grids. And finance is going through its own digital transformation, with AI and machine learning changing everything from risk management to customer service.
Exactly. The finance sector's evolution feels less like a tech sprint and more like a marathon. Steady, strategic, but definitely transformative. It's all converging.
So what are the experts predicting? Are they buying into the hype or urging caution?
A bit of both, really. The consensus seems to be cautiously optimistic. They love the innovation, but they're warning everyone not to forget the fundamentals. There's a great analogy I heard. The market is like a cat balancing on a fence. Incredibly nimble and alert, but one wrong step and it could all come tumbling down.
That is a perfect description. You know, it's funny. Sometimes I feel like the market is that one friend who's breathlessly telling you about the latest crypto coin, while you're just quietly wondering if you remembered to pay the rent. There's a very human element to all this.
So true. Okay, so let's summarize the key takeaways for today. First, the major indices are up slightly, but the real story is the underlying risk from potential Fed policy shifts.
Second, the tech sector is on fire. The rivalry between NVIDIA and AMD is intensifying, and Meta is reinventing itself as an AI powerhouse. And third, don't sleep on other markets. Forex moves like the USD-CHF pair show just how interconnected the global financial system is.
Excellent summary. And a quick shout out to Pantheon AI, our information co-pilot, for helping us connect all these dots. Now, Sarah, let's leave our listeners with something to think about.
Let's do it. So here are a few questions for you all. Are you paying enough attention to those macroeconomic fundamentals, or are you getting swept up in the tech hype? How are you balancing your portfolio between these exciting, high-risk tech plays and more stable assets? We'd love for you to think on that.
Great questions. Remember, in this dynamic world, staying informed and keeping a balanced perspective is your best tool. That wraps it up for us today on the PAI Morning Briefing. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Pantheon AI, your information co-pilot.
Because learning shouldn't feel like a full-time job. Take care and see you next time.